Do you think you know the story of Hansel and Gretel? You might want to think again. The tale you've heard is but a sanitized version, scrubbed clean for innocent ears. But the real story? It's a tale of desperation, cunning, and dark secrets that would chill you to the bone. In a time of famine and despair, Hansel and Gretel lived with their father and stepmother in a dilapidated cottage. Food was scarce, and their stepmother, a cunning woman with a heart as cold as ice, convinced their father to abandon them in the forest. "It's for the greater good," she whispered, her words dripping with malice. The children, clever and resourceful, used pebbles to mark their way back home. But their stepmother was no fool, she knew they would try to return. The next time they were abandoned, she ensured there were no pebbles to be found. Hansel and Gretel were truly lost, their hearts filled with a dread they had never known. Wandering deeper into the forest, they stumbled upon a house made of candy and sweets. Driven by hunger and naivety, they began to eat, unaware that they were falling into a trap. The owner of the house, an old witch, captured them with ease. "Ah, fresh meat," she cackled, locking Hansel in a cage and forcing Gretel into servitude. The witch had a dark secret: she was a cannibal, sustaining her life through dark magic and the flesh of the innocent. Her house was not just a home, but a lair filled with the remains of her victims, their souls trapped in enchanted objects. Days turned into weeks, and Hansel and Gretel knew they had to act fast. The witch was preparing a spell that would drain their life force, granting her eternal youth. Gretel, feigning loyalty, learned the incantations and ingredients for the witch's spells. She discovered that the witch's power was tied to a dark amulet, a source of unimaginable evil. The night before the ritual, Gretel made her move. She tricked the witch into opening the oven, claiming she didn't understand how to use it. As the witch leaned in to demonstrate, Gretel summoned every ounce of her strength and pushed her in, locking the door behind her. The witch's screams were drowned out by the roar of the flames, her dark magic consuming her in a final, blinding flash. But before she perished, she let out a curse, vowing that her spirit would return to haunt them. Hansel and Gretel were free, but the ordeal had changed them. They returned home, not to seek reconciliation but to confront their father and stepmother. Armed with the dark spells they had learned and the witch's amulet, they cast a curse on their stepmother, turning her into a statue of salt. Their father, ridden with guilt, had no choice but to live with his actions, forever reminded of his betrayal. Hansel and Gretel left their home, vowing to protect others from the dark forces that lurked in the world. They became hunters, their names whispered in both reverence and fear. They traveled from village to village, their reputation growing with each dark entity they vanquished. But the witch's curse was not idle, her spirit returned, manifesting as dark shadows and malevolent whispers. Hansel and Gretel knew that they had to find a way to banish her spirit once and for all. Armed with enchanted weapons and forbidden spells, they ventured into the underworld, a realm of darkness and chaos. After battling hordes of demonic creatures and solving riddles from fallen spirits, they reached the heart of the underworld. There, they found the witch's spirit, bound to a throne of bones. A battle ensued, a clash of light and dark, good and evil. Using the amulet, Gretel channeled a spell so powerful that it shattered the very fabric of the underworld. With a deafening scream, the witch's spirit was obliterated, her essence scattered to the winds. Exhausted but victorious, Hansel and Gretel returned to the world of the living. But their journey was far from over. They had seen the depths of darkness, and knew that their fight was eternal. And so, they lived, not happily ever after, but as warriors in a world teeming with darkness, forever haunted by the choices they had made and the lives they had led. They became legends, their story a cautionary tale of the thin line between good and evil, a line that anyone could cross.